Hello everyone, this is Dr. Cui. So from this video, I'd like to talk about how to answer the questions during the interview. So I created this video specifically for the old IMGs, especially the people like me who has a lot of research experience, and as well as some people who has a lot of other experience. So I hope it's helpful. Uh, okay, so first thing first, um, most people just ask us about tell me about yourself as the first question. So how to answer it appropriately. So here are some notes. The most important. So I would. So I would think. I would like to see that this question actually is the most important and difficult question I prepared. I spent a lot of time prepare for this one, and I asked a lot of people how to answer this question appropriately and perfectly. Actually, no one can give me a very good answer. So I just tried my best to create my own answer. Because I have a lot of experience and uh, from different countries and at different time. And so that's why I think it's very difficult for me. So as I mentioned here, so we need to organize it very well if we have a very complicated experience. And also we need to catch the interviewer's attention in the first couple of words. We cannot speak too much because if you speak too much, like over 4 to 5 minutes, we will probably lose the people's attention on the interest. So we need to keep it short, like 1 to 2 minutes if we can, and no longer than 3 minutes if we have a lot of experience. And I would definitely give you my example later after this. After this, so also we need it better to create a suspense to hook up. Um, so, for example, if you want to let people know your research experience, you can give some of clue what you're doing. So, and in order to attract them to ask you more questions, in the for the next couple in the next a couple of questions. And also, you can always talk about your interest if you wish, and let them to ask you more questions about that. So here are some strategies. So in order to answer it very well, so we first need to introduce our better to introduce our places live where we lived before, location, any attractions. But try to make sure keep it short, like 1 to 2 sentences enough. And also we can talk about our family if we you think it's helpful for your application, like if your parents uh, work in the hospital, and you can definitely talk about that. You can see that they influenced you when you were very young, so that's why you are interested in the medicine. And also you need to talk about your experience in med school, and one sentence should be enough. And also you can talk about other experience, but make sure that one sentence in each experience, unless it's very important and you want to people know that to experience very well. And also you can talk about your hobbies, but for as an old IMG, I would say it's optional because we have already spent a lot of time in the previous experience. So to me, actually, I don't want to waste the time on this part, because if they want to ask me about my hobby, they will definitely ask me extra questions. But this is not my point. This is not my. It is not the importance. Important. This is not important to me actually. And the case, every word you speak out, you need to convey. It's better to convey one of these your personal characters, personalities to the audience. So like you can talk about something that you led a research team, or you taught to the students, medical students during the residency. You can show your leadership for these stories. So always make sure that everything you talk about can express yourself, or can express one of these characters for yourself. So here I'd like to give you an example of mine. So, okay, Dr. Cui, can you please tell me about yourself? Oh, sure. I was born in a small city in east of China, which is close to Beijing, because there are a lot of spring waters in my hometown. My hometown is also called Spring Water City. Regarding my family, my father is doctor. My mom is the head of nurse. I think that's why I'm very interested in medicine when I was very young. So after going to the med school, I found myself very interested in the cardiovascular medicine. So that's why I went to the United States university and joined their PhD program and studying cardiovascular medicine. And also that's why I came back to my hometown, complete the internal medicine residency training. And there, and during the training, I found that the air quality in my hometown is very bad. When it became worse and worse, more and more patients visit our cardiology clinic. So I think probably the air pollution can cause cardiovascular diseases. So I further submitted my proposal, and fortunately it got supported by Chinese government, and I further led a research team and published many papers. And after that, my previous PhD mentor offered me a good position in his job. So I accepted as a postdoc, and then I was further promoted as an assistant research professor in another institution in the United States. So after all of this, because my ultimate goal is to become a cardiologist. So I think I should continue my clinical training. So that's why I went to the New York City, completed a 4-month hands-on clinical rotation. And also I'm currently scheduling with my current supervisor on his service in cardiology at CSCU in order to acquire more clinical experience in the United States. And I think I should be ready to match for this year. So that's why I'm here. So here's my example. So I hope it's helpful, and good luck.